Welcome back. This is T.A.P. I'm your host, Andrew, amongst the team, and we have a special episode today. It's confronting the fragile male ego. And what actually got this going and even got me on this path was this particular story that happened up in New York where this dude had a sucker attack. And I'm going to go to it just so you guys can see it. Let's see here. All right. Let's go ahead and play it for you guys.
Is mourning the loss of a young woman, just 19 years old. Witnesses say she was stabbed alongside her twin sister last night outside a bodega in Park Slope. Our Ida Siegel is live outside the local precinct where the girl's parents have been talking to police. And Ida, so many wondering tonight, how could this happen?
Well, witnesses are telling us that this is a case of a man rejected and then taking revenge. And yes, the family is here at the local police precinct talking to detectives, trying to make sense of a senseless crime that happened outside a local bodega. The Natural Plus bodega back open today after an especially traumatic stabbing last night. Police say a 19-year-old girl was stabbed to death after rejecting a man's advances. A witness who did not want to be identified described what happened.
One of the guys had complimented the two girls that had walked in with their friends.
Is it breaking up on you guys?
They said no, they weren't attracted, so he called them names.
It was 2:20 early Sunday morning when police say Samaya Spain with another 19-year-old neighbors identified as her.
Okay, we'll head back to it. So I think I sent all of you guys got a chance to review it, but this dude's ego was so fragile. I'll leave it on because it's like two other videos in there, like little shorts. But this dude's ego was so fragile that the fact that he got rejected, he attacked the twin sisters and ended up killing one of them, stabbed her in the neck, and I think in the like the abdomen area. That's like the modern man nowadays. It's just their ego is so fragile, and I think it's a danger to society.
I would say, man, I think that's not most guys, though. Dude just had a sucker attack, man. Most guys don't do. I think most guys' ego are fragile. Like, yeah, but come on, man. Like, you don't hear that too often. That's just like a minute where something probably was off with him, man. It could be just his ego. Mentally, who does that, though? Because you got rejected, you turn around and stab one of the sisters. Like, that's not every dude. I think someone was off his rocker. Maybe he was on medication. Maybe he's going through something. But I don't want that to be painted as if we're really like that. Like, if things don't go our way or we get rejected, we about to shape redemption. Some girl. Like,
I'm referring to not all men. No, I'm saying that men who with a fragile ego. I'm saying that's the scary ones, not men in general. So I should have made that separation. I'm saying men with a fragile ego show these type of behaviors. And I do believe that it's starting to happen a lot more often than usual. Because these men don't know how to interact, or things don't go their way or whatever. And I got something else. This lady who like really blessed the internet with a lot of good content. All right.
Able to make more educated decisions. When women are able to make more educated decisions, more men get rejected. It's that rejection the male ego cannot stand, which is why there are incels in the world who are beating, raping, murdering, and deforming women because they're being rejected. The male ego is dangerous and it cannot handle rejection. So therefore, ergo, if a woman is shamed, sexually shamed, it makes her not want to exercise her right to gain the same sexual education that men get. It allows her, without that education, she's not able to better discern.
So what do you think about that, Coach?
Go ahead, someone weigh in after.
Well, keep us on.
I will argue, if you really look at it realistically, I think that women can't handle rejection more so than men. And I'll tell you why I say this. I was talking a while back to a girl, and I wasn't interested, man. Like, after talking to her, she was just a little bit too, she wasn't as feminine as I like my women. So anyway, I end up, kind of just like, I'm cool. man, she ended up blocking me on like social media and everything. And I respectfully told her, like, hey, you kind of argumentative. I'm not trying to debate or have a debate with one every time or talk about all these. And she was like really starting her issues. And I'm like, hey, I'm just, respectfully, I don't think you for me. Like, I don't think we will mesh good. Man, this girl took it offensive to it. She blocked me and everything. And it's like, I ain't even disrespect. Y'all respectfully said, I just don't think we can mesh. So that's how she reacted to it. And I think since men have to be the ones to usually go up to women and talk to them, we get rejected more, which means we know how to deal with it a little bit better. Yeah, when y'all was growing up, you ever went up and talked to a girl when you was younger and you might have got, or man, what you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have to come at you like that, but they do.
Turn your mic up, Steve, towards you.
I think we know how to acclimate a little bit better to rejection when we get rejected. But women, 9 times out of 10, if you ask them, like, hey, you see some guys in the club or some guys you're interested in, what do you go up and say? A lot of times they're like, oh, well, they don't know what to say because they don't have to do it, which means they don't get practice facing rejection. So I would argue that men handle rejection a lot better, majority of us, because we dealt with it like a lot. You'll get rejected by 5 women before you bag one, or 20 women before you go home with 1 or 2 numbers. That's just how it goes. Am I right, fellas? So I'll just say we more equipped to handle it. I think than women when it comes to like,
but that's not the okay. Yes, when women do get more emotional, but I think when we get emotional, we're more dangerous because our actions can be more destructive and dangerous to those around us. A woman getting an attitude, my wife get a little attitude and block my number for 20 minutes. It doesn't hurt my feelings. You get what I'm saying? Because I know she's acting on emotions.
Right.
But if I act on emotions and I fucking grab her and toss her across the room, like she can't toss me across the room.
Well, those are emotional men.
I don't really. But I know. But what I'm saying is, I'm giving the point that men who have fragile egos is what I'm saying. I'm focusing on them. Not all men are encapsulated within this thing. What I'm saying is there are a lot of men who are exhibiting these behaviors. If you look at the news, there's so many stories of young women, just even here in the city, getting murdered.
In the city, right off Philadelphia.
Exactly.
My partner's daughter.
Yeah.
Guy came in, shot her, beat her in the head with something, kicked her, just kind of really jacked her up, shot her again, and beat her again.
Damn.
Yeah, like
in the city?
Yeah, it's right off Philadelphia. Right before you get up to Salem, off of that last street that you can make a right on, the house on the corner, it took place in that house, and it was a young man that she moved on, and he couldn't handle it. So he, I posed as if he wanted to just have a conversation, and she went back to the baby daddy. He posed as if he wanted to talk. She didn't want to. He kicked the door in, and that was the last of that situation, man. So,
it's the fragile. Well, when we was talking about, I ain't gonna say no names, but when you was showing me the little footage of the boy we know that was in his feelings, because he got rejected. You know what I'm talking about? Throwing stuff on the door.
Oh yeah, doing all that.
Blase.
Yeah. And that's to Drew's point, like. It's those emotional men. I don't even know if it's ego. I think they just emotional. Like, because we all got ego.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my ego, if I got rejected, I'd never, I
wouldn't give it.
I would never hurt it, but I do got an ego. Yeah, like my pride is hurt. If I ever went to a woman that got rejected, you won't see it. That's internal. I keep it internal. I think it's more men are emotional. It's those
levels to the rejection.
It doesn't matter how she reject me. If she's rude or whatever it is, I'm gonna just walk. I'm not gonna cause a confrontation.
No, it is levels.
No, I'm just saying, like, if she like, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
Right.
No, that's what I completely am good with that.
I feel like I don't think you would be bothered by that.
I would not.
You know what I'm saying? But if she like,
mother. Would you say ew?
Yeah.
Ew.
It's getting broke.
But that also crosses the line to disrespect too.
It's just disrespectful.
Because it's like, hold on.
You could easily just respectfully decline. Yeah.
Just say, hey, I'm not interested.
Not interested.
Cool, I can walk on my merry way, but I feel like ill and a bunch of disrespectful comments opens the door.
Yeah, to back and forth.
For disrespect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I don't got to put my hands on you or nothing.
Yeah.
You might catch a few.
But I've seen it. I've seen it live. A lot of women, they get like a kick out of the declining guys. They get like a kick out of it. Yeah. Because they just want to go home and say, I had all these guys at my neck. I didn't let none of it, because they're feeding their own ego. I agree with you. That was my next point. I was like, these women have egos too. Yes. And how many drinks a dude buys for them? How many guys try them in the night? That feeds their ego at the end of the night. Yep. Women done told me, I don't even bring my purse in the club because guys, I got guys that I know they're gonna buy me in. I'm gonna get in free. They're gonna buy my drinks. They're gonna get me food after, and I'm gonna just go home and I'm gonna plan.
I do.
Like, so you got to think about that too. When some of these guys, you just say they're emotional or their ego, but these girls, they will build up some of that tension. Yeah,
But I would say,
but it never warrants to put your hands.
Yeah, I would say those. It's a lot of guys out here that are, really in that mental state. Guys that we think are stand-up dudes that are really suckers, and as soon as that woman do something to invoke that emotion in him, that take to the hands and take to being crazy, man. Mm-hmm. And I think those are just really damaged and broken men that have been broken for a long time, probably since childhood. And I think that they've just adopted that trauma and they act out of it in ways toward women where it's a sense of dominance. It's a sense of, controlling. Like they are operating out of a really, really dark space, because to go to the extent of killing somebody just because you're in that, living out of that trauma is insane to me.
And to Drew's point real quick, how you said to stick to like those emotional and egotistical men. Mm-hmm. I have had a lot of conversations with women, and it's very common. I'm sure you guys have, where women say they're afraid to go to like certain gas stations, or they're afraid to go to certain stores and stuff because they get hounded. And then they're like, I've given my number out because I was scared to not give it to them, because those are those ego maniacs, that Drew's talking about. So I will say women do kind of go through that a lot.
It'd be some crazy situations.
It's crazy, right?
And for that situation with the young lady, she basically said no. Yeah. And she said, well, I'll give you my Instagram handle. And the dude said, cool, follow me back. And she said no. Just imagine if she was just following back. She could have blocked.
Be alive right now.
And also, I just think from a dad standpoint, why were they out that late? It was like 2-something a.m. in the morning, by themselves. I didn't like that. I wouldn't want my daughters out that late, definitely by themselves without like their brothers and somebody to protect them. But I think that there's been so many instances on these crime shows where you see these men who act on emotions and then they create these scenes. And I just wonder if these actions are correlated with the rise of young men being raised in single mother homes.
I think probably, take him for instance, it seems like he had a problem with rejection. And I think it's probably some trauma from his childhood, because like in middle school, I didn't get no play. Like, if when you growing up and you goofy, everybody crackling each other, but until you grow up and develop into your features and you get some confidence, then the board changes. But man, nigga, in middle school, I won't get no play. Like, I ain't gonna see.
But what I'm saying is, but you still had male energy. You had your father, stepfather. I'm saying, do you think that the rise of young men being raised in single mother homes is associated with the rise of young men?
I think that's part of it, and not knowing how to mature. You know what I mean? And show your emotions correctly is part of it. And usually it's a stoic alpha guy who teaches you that, or some men around you who teach you how to deal with your emotions. Hey, but man, so she played you. Who cares, man? There's other girls out here.
Hey, if you grew up with your mom, wouldn't that she teach you to respect women though? Wouldn't that kind of give you the opposite?
But
it would, because you would think like you would never want nobody to do this to your mama.
Yeah, that's true.
But I wouldn't want nobody to touch my mama like this. So why would I go and do the same? Because I grew up with a woman or my aunt.
If she did her job right.
If she did the right way.
Yes.
If she's dealing with ancient niggas, then
that's different. Yeah, but I'm just saying chances are though. She teaches you.
Yeah, but somewhere along the line in there, that young person that's growing up, I would find it really bizarre if like the situation we're describing, mom really taught you, single parent really taught you how to really get to it, be respectful, treat a woman like she's supposed to.
He clearly did.
And then you grow up and just flip the script. Like that's kind of like, for a parent, it's like, where did I go wrong? Like, I really, you know,
he
taught
didn't learn
this
that
kid,
lesson.
poured into my son.
Yeah.
You know, so I know, like, my mom, single parent coming up for a while. I didn't grow up to, you know, and I had really bad anger issues. I didn't lost my shit, but to the point to where I could have jeopardized my freedom. Nah, hell no.
Hey, let me ask y'all something.
I got somebody on a comment.
All right, that
might be just brought for attention. So dude said, yeah, fam, I heard across various podcasts, different hosts, thinkers, and just older folks with experience that the most dangerous person is a man who has nothing to lose and has taken L after L. This is from Tino Rare. He also said, yes, it's definitely part of it. How are you supposed to develop masculine energy without a man around is what I believe you meant to say. But tell me if you agree with this, gentleman. The peak of masculinity is mentoring, leading those who are not your blood.
Say it again.
He said that the peak of masculinity is mentoring or leading those who are not your blood. So I think that could be like when you coach, you teach, you principal, you know, you have education work with kids that, you know, of course not yours. And I think that I'm sure you can see young men in there who are exhibiting behaviors that you say, man, you know, if you get into a relationship and get your heart broken, I can see you ruining things, you know, or you just acting emotional. Maybe you miss the play and you just break down in tears and not know how to handle it, you know. So do you think that's the peak of masculinity to be able to address those things, that even though it's not your sons?
I don't think it's the peak of masculinity, but I do think it's a you know, just kind of a part of that, but I don't think it's like necessarily the peak of it.
Yeah, I would say that's a very unselfish thing to do. To mentor or to give some knowledge to someone who's not your blood. Of course, you're gonna give it to your blood, your family. But you care about the youth and your community, especially. And when you recognize signs in young people that you've seen with your friends growing up, and man, he's getting a little bit too emotional. Let me go over here and talk to him and address him and show him how to redirect that emotion. Hey, you like to fight? Hey, you know, it's a boxing gym downtown. Maybe you can put that energy over here, or you good at this, and instead of always fighting and getting in trouble at school, football tryouts is next week. Why don't you come down to the football tryouts? I'm sure coach got to, you know what I'm saying? Or how to just redirect or give him some guidance to where how I can turn a negative into a positive. And that's emotions. So it's okay to display emotions, but you got to display them in a positive way, not negative. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to feel rejected, but put it in a more positive manner. Flip it. Turn the negative into a positive. You get a better outcome in life and you get farther ahead than just going to the emotional display. That's where
men, I feel like with the family unit not being protected as it was in the past, you have so many men not in the household that's able to really give that energy. Because I know there's things with my sons that I was talking to my older son. He got a really good job and a lot of moves he's able to make because he moved from his mother's house and moved with me like full time. And I said to him that if you weren't here, you wouldn't be in the position that you are, because it would have been harder for me to give you these full-time lessons that you truly need. Not saying you wouldn't, absolutely, but for the most part, it was my guidance and my holding you accountable and telling you as a man that, you know, how the way the world works. You know, you can tell him when he's dealing with his girlfriend, like, hey man, if you came home and you saw her screwing your brother, you need to have such a peace to be able to move on with your life that you don't, because you can ruin your life if you go put your hands on it. Or if you do something stupid, you act on emotions, or you see a text and be like, man, you text another dude, like, man, you got to be, but it takes teaching that and understanding that, because so many young men now feel like Coach D just said, he just was in a situation, or not him, but the situation just in Dayton where a young lady broke up with a dude and it was an ex. Like, man, women, ain't it funny? Women outnumber men by a long shot, but this men is going back hurting these women.
Our egos,
Our egos are fragile. It's the dangers. And you know, and having daughters, you have a daughter, we all have daughters, but having daughters is something I think about. I pray that my daughters never meet a man that feel like they need to put their hands on them or make them feel scared if they're not with them. Like, I don't want that energy.
It's the second part to that too. Like you said, it's in his best interest that your son come and live with you because you can be more hands-on. But that second part is even if a dad is in the home, he got to be the right. Now, he can't be a dad in the home and he feminine too. Like if he wasn't raised to be a man, then now you just got a bad example. You have to have a dude who's actually a good one to look up to. And that has to be taught from your father or some kind of masculine role, because if he didn't have one and he's in the house, now he just seeing generations of this woman, and it's like that's not man. But so it has to be the right type.
But I will say this, because you did say there's situations where men grow up without a man in the household, and one of our followers just made a point. He put, his background. He said that he's a 24-year-old. He's from LA, U.S. Military Academy graduate. Hey, Hoyle, congratulations to you. I'm an Army vet too, man. He's a currently infantry officer in the Army, but he grew up with a single mother his whole life. He has a lot of experience being around disenfranchised households. It is hard making up your way in the world without a male mentor, but he was still basically able to do it. I mean, his accolades says a lot. I mean, to be an officer in the Army, but so I want to make sure that I clear with our audience that it's not impossible. It's just harder. And he kind of echoed that in his statement.
Real quick, what used to help? Even if it's an absent father, man, remember on TV, TGIF used to have positive dads to look up to.
Man, you had
Family Matters.
Family Matters. You had
Step by Step,
Danny, Uncle Danny and them.
Fresh Prince.
Yeah, Prince.
Cosby.
Yeah,
you had some positive stuff to even watch on TV. I think we missing that too. Even if you didn't have someone personal, but I used to, man,
like Uncle Phil was one of my personal favorites.
Yeah,
because my uncle who raised me, I just see so much correlation because he was hard body just like Uncle Phil. Yeah. And I was Will, always clowning, laughing, kicking it, wanting to have a good time. And Uncle Phil never gave up on Will. Because he seen the potential. And that's how my uncles were like, they seen it like, dude, ain't no way we losing you to the streets. Ain't no way you going to be a deadbeat daddy. Ain't no way. Man, it was just a blessing to have men like that. But I think even just hearing, all your sentiments, it just takes me back to the foundation, man. Like even in education, there's a foundation. Like it's like right now we're in a terrible state of education right now. And we're trying to move back to getting kids to be literate. We're trying to get back to kids being proficient at mathematics. I do a school store. The kid give me a 5. How much change you get back? Shoulder. I'm like, dude, I don't speak shoulder. You know what I mean? So it's just foundation. And even, especially in the Black community, we got to get back to foundation. Like, we got to get back to having that 2-parent household. We got to get back to having that dad that you're describing, the right dad. Get your butt out here. This is how you cut grass.
Yeah.
This is how you edge the lawn. This how, when you take the trash out, this is push it down. Make sure this. There's so many little small details and steps that we do as men that some of these young men never even get.
Yeah.
And they get out in this world and they get in relationships and they don't know how to deal with pressure.
The pushback.
Any pressure, because that pressure, I was gonna talk about this. So yesterday, my son was his last day on his job. So his boss decided to. It was his last day. He put in his notice. He has a great job. He started Monday. So his boss decided to let him go early, like in a negative way, like to let him go. So he went up to my son. He gestured him to come here. He's like, hey, come here. And when my son came over, he literally took his badge off his shirt and ripped it off his shirt. And my son was like, well, okay. So he came home. My wife was like, text me. I was asleep. She's like, man, you should talk to Drew. Like, what happened? That needs to get reported. So when I talked to him and we went over it, he realized we got the guy reported and pretty sure dude's getting fired. But the point I tried to explain to him, I said, you're a better man than me because you exercise restraint in a situation where we would have been thrown down in there because you don't put your hands on me for any reason.
Is this his first job?
It's not his first job, but he's still young. He's 19. He's naive, of course.
How many jobs has he had?
I would say it's just maybe second, third real one.
Okay.
But it doesn't excuse that behavior per se. But what I'm saying is that I remember growing up, my father would tell me it takes a bigger man to walk away than to sit there and fight and squabble. And if he had put his hands, it would have been his word against his. It could have messed up his opportunities he has on Monday. It could have been more damaging versus just walking away and having an opportunity to get. He got the better laugh. You told me, I knew it was my last day. That was your motherfucking last day too.
Right.
You want to be stupid.
Hey, it's crazy. Your son about to have a totally different experience at 19 than what we did. Just because of that job he went, bro. Remember where we was at 19? I walked out on so many jobs. Bro. I done had my experience with jobs, bro. I didn't care. But he actually having a job that's paying him like
you making some good money.
Bro.
At 19.
I was at McDonald's all through high school. I was at McDonald's.
I was only there freshman sauce.
Then after that, what? Blockbuster, DP&L, Kohl's.
I think I stopped. That's the 10th grade. I was done.
McDonald's? Nah, but you went to Bob Evans.
That was before like a day. That was like a day. I was there for like a day.
Yeah, right back to McDonald's.
Oh, I'll stay right here.
Yeah, I remember Derek and I worked at ABX Air when we were 20.
Oh, yeah.
Because I told my son.
Freshman, sophomore, that's the only years I worked.
At age 19, you're going to be working in cybersecurity, making close to 6 figures here in like another year or so. And I said, at your age, dude, I was throwing letters in boxes.
Literally. Dropping them down chutes.
Yeah.
Dropping them down the chute, man.
I was doing temp services still at that age, dog. Like,
so you know, like in the jobs we worked, we wouldn't have thought nothing of like whooping the manager's ass. Or
no. We be the thrash them. Coming back in the day. You touch one of us?
Yeah.
Man, listen. And we stood and waited on the police.
Yes.
Right? I'm not running. I'm right.
You earned that ass.
Yeah.
But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I know that my father being there for me, really trying to help me out when it comes to controlling my anger and my temper. And of course, we all can fall short. But it was still great to have that. I know I told him before he passed, like, man, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I wouldn't have these things if it wasn't for you being hard on me. Because when I was younger, I didn't appreciate it.
Right.
But I remember the stuff he would do. Like, he would say, like, man, you doing these chores, go out there and do that. Do it this way. Hey, come here and do this electrical job with me.
Yeah.
Now I know electrical. Like, come and do this. Go paint. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And there's things that I appreciate as a man. That's why I think, like, daughters need that good energy from a mother to know I go out here and beat women and hear themselves. But it's just, I think definitely within the Black community, I don't think we praise Black families enough. It's like we praise the single mother, and there's nothing against the single mother, because sometimes they're in situations that you ever seen that something now you're a single mom. But
your brother sent the shit to me.
You know, the Pampers and shit.
I want to pass along some flowers to you. Okay. I want to pass along flowers to you. I want to pass along flowers to you because we all come from different walks, man. But I really listen to y'all and pay attention to y'all, man. And I be liking that. Like, I see you post, in the house. I mean, I get down, but I hear about you in the streets now. People know, hey, Steve? Yeah, hey, Yeah. And I love hearing that because it's not every day you just get to hear strong Black men. Let me take the word strong out. Just Black men doing what the hell they supposed to.
Wow.
And can come into a room together and set egos and differences aside and really articulate and talk to each other, man, because, a lot of the topics we talk about, I'm sure it touches us in many different ways. And, I don't know, single mom?
When I grew up, divorce.
Okay. You see, my mom divorced twice. Yeah. And Phil was talking about you, and it's just to hear the good things, man. I really just like to give y'all flowers, man, because been knowing Drew forever and I always been on this grind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Always did. I said, Will, just meeting you newly, to the people I know that know you, oh man, good dude, cool. All good. Yeah. Man, so I just want to give y'all flowers, man, because what we do is hard.
Yeah.
Every single day, carving out time to come here, it might be getting yapped, yeah, but our voices are impacting so many other men that struggle with ego, that struggle with just getting up and going to work every day, that struggle with being a dad, can feed off our energy and know it's okay, to cuss your kid out every now and then because they keep missing layups. So all right, just I appreciate that from all y'all.
Nah, I was mad,
hey,
bro.
Ego is because people be talking about the male ego like it's negative. Yeah. It's not.
No.
It's needed. You just have to check it. But the ego is like, I was telling your aunt down there, she was like, men have ego. I said, everybody has ego. Men just have more of an ego, but that's how we're designed. It's like fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to check it. You just can't always go off the rockers. But ego is like confidence. Man, I got an ego. I ain't going to let no one do this. I got an ego. Like with me, I heard Andrew Tate say something about this, your family name. People used to care about your family name. So if your son or your daughter do something out of pocket, it's making the Browns or the Jacksons or, you know, y'all family name look bad. It's bigger than us. It's the family name. You don't want the youngs to look bad. Why are you doing like, you know what I'm saying? The men in our family, we act this way. This is what we do. This is what we grind. We do this. We make moves. You're not representing the family well. And I think that's important. We need to get back to that. Yeah. And that's like your circle of company you keep. Just us in a circle. If you just notice everybody's about something, doing something, and I guarantee you if someone was on bullshit, we would call them out. If they really like not taking care of their kids or doing some reckless shit. So you are a product of the company you keep. If you notice anybody that was on bullshit when you was growing up, you probably done cut them out your life right now. You just don't have no time for it. Like, it's cool. I'm not talking about making mistakes, but like continuously on some bullshit, I ain't got time for you. Yeah. But I think a community like a wolf pack that makes each individual stronger. You just landed another gig. I'm looking at you like, let me get on my shit.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Like, just like you just added another house to your gig. Yeah. You know, and I'm just like, hey man, I need to clean this off the credit after credit because hey, I like what you're doing. You know, you might be in line for a next step up. Like, hold on, all right. Yeah. And it's not an envy thing. It's not a jealousy thing.
Motivation.
And because in all this plays in the ego, it's not none of that. It's, yo, I like what y'all. That's why I like to give y'all flowers. I'm like, hey, even though y'all younger than me, I'm saying, all right, I see you, nigga.
But
I see y'all.
But I agree with what y'all said with pushing. Or what was that? I think Steve said it with having more like that big brother mentorship. Yeah, we need to start pushing that more because in my fraternity and Kappa Alpha Psi, we got it's called Kappa League. So it starts at like 7th grade and on up, and we basically big brother mentor guys from 7th all the way up through high school. So then, because a lot of them emulate us anyway, they copy us and want to do what we do, but it would be like, hey, the way to get there is through college. And it starts now, like at the 7th grade and up. So we teaching them about grades. We have like suit and tie workshops, teach them how to tie the ties, resume builders for our juniors and seniors, just teaching them how to, survive, in the world. And then when they graduate, they get scholarship money. We buy them all laptops, different things like to send them off right. And then they can finally, once they get to college, it's crazy when you meet them at 7th grade and they get to college and they become a bruh. Yeah. And then you see the full circle. Yeah. And now they're doing the next 7th grader and bringing them all the way up through the program. It's crazy. So I think we should really like support that stuff and do more of that. And
I'm definitely open for y'all to come to our school, man.
We trying to get that.
They did that.
It's called Kappa League. My son wants to be a part of it. His cousins want to be a part of it. It's like it's just very positive, and then it promotes college. Like
I think that the community and man, no matter if it's like military, college, sports, activities, things that promote that energy and working towards something and bettering yourselves. I mean, because I sometimes I try to be careful when I say college is the only path to success because that's very bad advice. But I think that just having like all those other aspects of what you guys do, I think it's amazing. Yeah. And it to me, you created men who made, when they get with women, I feel like this. As I'm raising my sons, I feel like the women who get them are gonna be so happy they got my sons. They're like, man. They wives gonna come to me and be like, man, I got a good husband. Right. Like just the way I want, like when my daughters go out here and get married, I want their husbands to be like, man, thank you. She get on my nerves sometimes, but damn, like these other women out here, shit they be doing, man, I ain't gotta worry about that with her. Because you raised her right, and that's the goal. I try to raise them. You're not gonna be perfect, you're gonna make mistakes. And we talk about these situations. When we see these sucker attacks, man, my wife and I would sit there and watch on TV on YouTube and be like, bro, look what this sucker just did. This dude just got an attitude and broke up with his girl and he went back stalking her. Because he was that lame that he didn't have a life. He could just go be. He was that like, oh my God, I need to go do something. That's the world we live in. So I as we make content, and we ain't gonna be super long. the goal of it is for you guys to take away something, right? Is today we want you to understand that the fragile ego is a bad thing. Ego, as Steve was saying, is a good thing because we all have that. It's like that fire. It's that.
Can I throw a twist in there with ego too while we at it?
Go ahead.
My ego not gonna let me just lose my shit.
Mm-hmm.
My ego, you break up with me, man, take all of this. Because I know, man, I love how our topics build off of previous podcasts that we've done.
Speak on it, brother.
Because I'm gonna get it again because of the type of cloth I'm cut from. Take it. You want the card? Take that too, baby. I'll catch bus 20 and stack that check. And I'm gonna come back 3 times as harder than I did before. Like there's nothing you can do to destroy my inner peace or my inner being. Even as a youngster, I might have been a hothead, but it was that determination to always succeed and that ego of what? Oh, he did what? All right, well, he did 9, I'm doing 10. Period. You know what I'm saying? So just a twist of ego. Yes, we do have ego. We all have an ego. And my ego just won't allow me to be a sucker. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I just cannot see it. Like
there's no alpha without ego, man. You need it to be the alpha, to be the man. You need ego. It is what it is. It's part of the recipe. Confidence, ego. Hey, you can be a little cocky if you want, but discipline.
Mamba mentality. Kobe had ego.
Hey, tell him.
Kobe had ego.
Yes.
I didn't like Kobe at first, but then after I really studied and listened to that man, man, dude was just a different type of human, man. Kobe's ego was insane. Another guy. I watch Genius every time I fly. I love that documentary because just was an epitome of, hey, I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. I'm going all the way where I want to go. And ain't nothing nobody can do about it. I am him. And sure enough, when Dame told him he couldn't rap, name a trash Ye album. Well, old school Ye, I should say.
I'll tell you too.
You can't name an old one.
I'll tell you an exercise I've been doing, but they say, and this is psychology, but they say it boosts your ego, your confidence, and your self-esteem. But if you look yourself in the mirror every morning, every night, high five yourself and build your own ego up and talk to yourself in the mirror. Because they say your biggest critic. Mm-hmm. But when you're in the mirror, high five yourself or whatever and be like, hey, you're doing a good job. You that dude. I'm telling you, it seems a little bit
Bruce Lee said that. Bruce Lee said you can't talk to yourself negative or bad things because your brain can't differentiate if you if you mean it or if you fake it. Because if you speak that negativity, your body would your brain would start to focus on that.
Yep.
Like, so when you were in the mirror, did you say like, wear a Bel Air shirt? Did you say that?
I told myself, you gonna look better than Fresh Prince.
Well, see, check this out for Drew. Hey, he gets a bonus because he can look at both mirrors and be like, hey, you that man. You know, so Drew, hey, double the fun for him, man.
Hey, you know that school, we talking about education, that new school they got downtown?
The Connor Group is doing that, yes.
You know, they said they mentor kids from the time they go to school all the way up to 27.
That's dope.
They said it doesn't stop when they graduate to create more further opportunities for people to stay in Dayton and invest. Yeah. They mentor you all the way up till 27, man.
Shout out to my teachers going to the Connor Group, the new school downtown. Hey, represent, man. Do y'all thing.
Oh, that's clutch. So they're encouraging that far after. I just think that for the things for our community to truly be successful, going back to the family unit, building it up, praising, the families that decide to get together, to get married, that have children and stay together and really try to work it out and work on their issues and stuff and not be perfect, but the most successful communities have those fundamentals intact. We're the ones that are still lagging behind. And I think that when you take like military age men, like definitely in the Black community, they're more feminine. They get emotional. Male ego is fragile. It makes us so weak when you look at us from the outside of the world, like other countries, when they look at us, they just be like, man, like just imagine somebody over in Russia is like working out strong. You see like a young dude out of shape, ain't out here on his purpose, out here putting his hands on the woman because she's done left him, and they like, bro, I can take your whole country off. If that pisses you off, I don't even have food. I ain't even got shoes on. You complaining because this girl texting another guy? Like that's the stuff that scares me, and I drill into my sons. Like I made this content because I was passionate. I'm a twin, so when I seen that other twin get killed, I can only imagine the pain that twin that's still alive is going through each and every day. And rest in peace to the young lady who passed away, and you do not deserve that. And I pray that dude get ass fucked with 20 knives in prison, man. I mean, just, it's just like, I mean, just literally, man, that's like
sharp shit.
Seriously, I mean, I have daughters, and I would hate for them. Like, it ain't nothing that could come out of a man's mouth while you would do something like that to one of my children.
And this shit happens more than what's reported. This shit just happens every day. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what this video is aimed at. It's aimed at them dudes. If you in that headspace where you don't know how to deal with your anger, you don't know how to cool down, you don't know how to deal with pressure, this is your opportunity to take a step back, cool down, maybe be by yourself, get around some real men, learn how to do, because guess what? Shit's not gonna go your way. I may lose a job or lose this, but like as Derek said, bro, I'm cut from a different cloth. I'll go find a way. I'll be out here door dashing. I'll do several jobs to do what I have to put food on the table. So that's the way I'm cut. So I'm not caught up on if something don't go my way, let me break my stuff and oh my God, it's the end of the world. Like, man, I'm only gonna make shit work for me. Yeah, I agree.
But I'll let you guys. We'll start with you, Zoe.
Do we got another video?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
We got another video. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Let me play that.
The most delicate thing about a narcissist is their ego. When their ego is crushed, they cannot handle it. If you ever get away, you had better celebrate, buy your own trophy, buy some clothes, some shoes, some jewelry. Celebrate like it's your damn birthday because you are being rebirthed when you get away. A lot of times their childhood comes back when you stand a narc up. They don't like to be stood up. It's very painful, it's very hurtful to a narc. They're the ones that do all the standing up, the ghosting, the disappearing, the walking away, making you cry, making you hurt. Their ego is very, very, very fragile. And when you get away, celebrate and don't go back. When you get away, don't doubt yourself. Don't ask nobody no questions. You got away. Be happy, elated. Grow from that. Know what's going on. Think about your life moving forward. Keep the lessons. Understand what you went through. Their ego is very, 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 very fragile. A lot of times when you stand a narc up, they immediately go back to their childhood. Their dad bullied them. Their dad talked about them. Their dad put them down. The dad left, the dad beat him up, the dad talked to him, said mean things to him. When you stand them up, you become their trigger. When you stand them up, you put them down. They don't like to be put down. When you stand them up, you make them feel their fears, the fears that they always suppress. When you get away, you better celebrate. When you get away, go to church, go hug some people, cry, let it out. Celebrate, buy your own damn trophy. When you stand them up, it's like reminds them of they were bullied. Their mom left them, and their mom did something.
Yeah, he kind of repeats that, but he goes on to say that he himself, and when he says narc, he's saying like a narcissist. So he's saying he himself was that, and he had a fragile ego. So it got reversed on him. And like I said, I just think it's interesting conversations to have because it's not brought to the forefront, and it's too many men doing this. Like I said, not saying women don't, but I just feel like when men do it, it's so dangerous.
Dangerous, yeah.
It's dangerous. Like I seen this dude where he got an attitude and he grabbed this woman and it was his wife and he choked the hell out of her, and I was just like, man, like now she gone, now you gone, and who gonna raise the kids?
Right.
System.
Yeah. Do you think it's a better way to for men to get their emotions out though? Like, do you have because my thing is this, we're out. And I like what Coach said is because I like how this kind of ties into other podcast topics that we've had because like a lot of men, and I'll speak on black men, because we're taught to like bottle a lot of our emotions from the time we're little to now. We're always taught to restrain ourselves. So where do we let this out at? So that man that hurt that 19-year-old girl, he could have had a bunch of pent up emotion and just took it out on her that day. It wasn't because she rejected him. It's because he doesn't have anywhere to release his emotion. Don't cry. Don't be a bitch. Don't be this. Don't do that. If a girl rejects you, you got to be nice. Be chivalry. Stay, you have to be the bigger man. Like, we're always taught to restrain everything. But women get that empathy to where they can let out their emotion. If a woman was to just start swinging on me or something like that, what did you do? Right. You know what I mean? Like, so, but men, we don't have an outlet to let our emotions out. So how do we go about, getting our male emotions out so that way this ego stuff doesn't happen?
So I like what you just said, Will. And as you were talking, man, it was like, we have always been bottlenecked into this as black men.
Yep.
White men can do it and it's praised and it's looked at as, oh man, stand up person for doing that. And I think that originally a lot of the ways that some of the things that we were taught when it came to anger was to protect us as little boys growing up to be black men. So we would not be taken out by some of these white people out here that was out to get out to get us intentionally.
Right.
But I think Drew kind of alluded to working out as far as dealing with that ego and dealing with releasing that, whether it be working out a religious relationship. I don't want to call it a religious relationship, but a relationship with a higher power. At this point, man, going and sitting on somebody's couch and really getting that mental health all the way together. That's something that we just don't do as blacks because there's such a negative connotation. We're not quacks.
Therapy
is it really is life-saving, and it does release you mentally.
Yeah.
So, those are the things that we as black people, but as black men especially, we have to be vulnerable enough to go sit on somebody's couch and just say, hey, I am struggling. I'm fucked up right now.
Yeah.
And not be judged.
Yep. And that first step is the hardest, though.
Very hard.
Because that first step is the hardest, and we're taught not to do that.
Yes.
But don't you think that with the churches, with the Nation of Islam, with all the religious institutions we have, like almost every corner has a church, don't you think they should take more of that, being able to encourage the type of behavior and kind of changing that narrative, like you said, just don't talk about your problems, just bottle it in, don't come. Like, I just feel like that. I don't recall going to church and hearing those type of messages for a man to cry. It's okay to be going through things. It's okay to fail. It's okay to do these things. Now there's still the ways you have to act as a man, but I feel like when you go too full force, like we don't know what that young man was going through. He was 20 years old, threw his life away.
Yeah, he did.
So we don't know. It doesn't excuse his behavior, but it is good to try to understand when you're trying to reach out to other young men before they do stuff like this. Like, man, what did you go through at a young age? So we can repair that and recover. Because my goal is, if I'm talking, if a young man in the future is listening to this and may decide to marry my daughter, understand what you're getting yourself into. And they ain't the ones, bro. Nope. They ain't the ones. They ain't the ones at all.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like that in the future here near soon, with Healing with Angelica, we were talking. I was planning an episode that I was gonna talk about religion with regards to, like, is it beneficial for our community? It's beneficial for us spiritually, but I feel like are we not doing enough, because it seems like our community is dead last in everything. So just you know what I'm saying? I'll let you touch on that, man.
So let's say are these church representations of the church body being effective in the community? Because I don't want to say religious. Are people that are representations of a higher power really out in the community being effective? One thing I learned about Jehovah's Witnesses, and we make a joke about it on Friday. Are you prepared for Jehovah's Return? We make a joke about it.
For those who are watching, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. And Tino Vera may been dropping some jewels in this chat, man. So when you're done, I definitely want to share what he said, because he was saying that pretty much everything we've been talking about, he's been like damn near saying it before we even said it.
Yeah.
Like seriously, but go ahead. Shout out to you, man.
I was just gonna say, like, one thing I respect about even the Jehovah's Witness community is field service. It's getting out into the field, knocking on doors. Hey, how you doing? Well, here, if you feel moved, this is where we are. Come see us. The average people that represent higher powers don't do that. Not unless you end up, and it's not all of them, but for a great majority that I have seen, don't just get into it. They don't just, hey man, brother, I'm praying for you. Hey man, God bless you. You have those that do it, but sometimes it feels good to hear it. And I don't think we hear it enough. So it make you turn your cheek to it like, bruh,
I still think that,
I'm not going to that. No.
When I hear somebody say I pray for you, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like that's shutting the door. I'd rather you say, if you hear that I'm hungry, you ain't gotta say I pray for you. Let me take you to go.
No. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying actually. Well, all I'm saying is
when they say they're hungry, I pray for you.
Exactly. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Staying with your son?
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying.
That ain't what you meant.
No. If you have a need, meet it. Like, if you be like, hey man, listen, I'm going through it. Hey bro, hey, how can I help?
Yeah.
That's showing the love of Christ.
Yeah.
Not, dang, y'all lost your house?
Yeah.
All right, brother, I'm praying for you, man.
But you get what I'm saying?
Like, no, how can I help?
But that's the future that I wanted to touch.
Yeah.
That's the future thing I wanted to touch was that we have all these religious institutions, like almost every block has a church, and like our communities are doing the worst. So like I think starting within the church, because as the man, you're supposed to follow Christ. The woman's wife supposed to follow us, children follow the wife. Yep. And we have this hierarchy, but there's clearly a breakdown. There's clearly something because, like I said, there's way too many churches, and definitely within our communities, inner city communities. The one guy he was talking about Latino man. He said he's Mexican, so it applies to him. So it's not just for black men. So
on every corner.
Yeah, but. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I would like to touch. I don't want to delve too deep into it. Is that for these institutions, those who are pastors, those who have great charge over a community, I feel like they need to get back to the foundations, because the church back in the day, in the 60s and the 50s, where they was pushing the family units, they were pushing all of that, the things that were beneficial for our communities.
Yeah.
Come get a meal.
We don't get that no more.
Come get clothes.
Now it seems like they're more concerned with just
this tithes.
Yeah,
collection
fund and all that.
Building fund, bus fund, TV fund, food fund. But I'm hungry. But still, give me your money then. But you're not gonna feed me? No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and again, it's not taken away from the message of Christ. It's just taken away from all these institutions we have.
No, it is taken away from the message of Christ. Well, it's contradicting the message of Christ.
It's contradicting the message of Christ. I mean, like, I'm not trying to say that there's anything wrong with the message of Christ. I'm saying that it's just, it doesn't align with it because it just, our communities are so fucked, man. It's like the basics, man. We like, for they have singles groups, I'd say, but it seems like it just don't align with pushing family units. And, you have a lot of things. Well, again, we say that for a future episode. I got so much lined up on it, but man, Bel Air, man, go ahead, let us know.
This is the closing thing I'll say, and it's full circle.
Chiquita.
So I'm trying to get my thoughts together.
Right, you trying to go ahead, bro, Steve.
Now, full circle though. A strong black, a strong girl and boy grows up to be a strong woman and man. Mm-hmm. A strong woman and man gets together and does what? A strong family. Mm-hmm. A strong family creates what? Strong kids.
Generation.
It's a full circle. So when you was talking about getting back and pushing the family unit, I think it starts with like us, like you bringing your son up a certain way, who's going to grow up and be a certain type of man who black women are looking for. They get together. They follow through, they get married. Now you have a strong black unit, they get kids, and then you keep doing the same thing. I think that's where it starts, what we could do. I mean, it's cool to have men fellowships. And plus, when you get good at emotional intelligence and how we're talking, and you brought your son in here, he's going to be able to have his own circle of group of friends and teach them, or they can feed off each other's energy. Now you have one circle and he created his other circle. That's how you do it. You got to have strong black men, and then they branch out and create their circles, but we're all have the same goal: being strong, be emotionally intelligent, checking our egos, strong family. That's where it starts. It starts with just us, and then we create our own individual circles and families. You know, we save ourselves, but it has to start with us. Like one positive black man could create 10.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree.
You should talk about your vacation. I want to hear what y'all did.
Man, listen, man, we gonna finish this. Let's finish this up.
Did you see that? I ain't gonna.
No, let's finish this. Can we finish this?
All right.
It's supposed to be talking about positivity.
Right, then he goes straight to that. But no, I was gonna stick with my original point and just say, like, men, like, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Like, don't be afraid to say, you know, I'm not okay. You know, don't think you're a punk. You know, don't be afraid. You know, it's okay to cry and all that type of stuff. Like, reach out to anybody that's around you that's a positive role model or anybody that you look up to. Just reach out to them. 9 times out of 10, they got to where they got to. They're not gonna, you know, turn you down. So just don't be afraid to reach out for help. And then another thing, I'm gonna end it with this. We have a saying in our friend. We call it like cocky but humble. Like, say it again. It's called be cocky but humble.
Be cocky but
humble. It's okay to, like Steve said, it's okay to have some confidence. Mm-hmm. It's okay to say, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I got this. But at the same time, you got to be humble enough to be able to face those rejections. You got to be humble enough, and also we don't take criticism very well. And that's kind of that's kind of what that hurts us as well. When a woman that rejects us, she usually tells you why she's rejecting you. Yeah. Like, you dress like that, you smell like that. It's criticism. Mm. And a lot of folks, especially us black men, we don't take criticism very well. And I think that's a trait we need to learn, you know, to work on. But hey, like I said, man, just reach out, man. You need help. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah. Full circle, man. Taking criticism very well, that just starts with going back to those two strong people.
Yeah.
Because more than likely, when that person, he or she approaches whoever they're interested in, they already have that bread in them.
Yeah.
So they kind of concur with that automatically, you know, as far as that rejection. Yeah. Because you come into the table with what you need to have.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's like full circle, like, you know, taking that criticism, but also knowing what to do not to be criticized.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's inevitable. But young people, male, female, older man, older woman. If you feel like you're broken, go somewhere and get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Look in the mirror, like Steve said. Say those affirmations. Build yourself up, and then also invest in what a positive ego looks like. You don't have to carry that trauma.
Right.
You don't have to carry that negative weight around with you every day, creating an ugly person. If you want to have an ego that's built on pride. It's okay to be cocky, but yet you still want to have a certain level of humility.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, is study and find out who you want to be and put in the work to become that person. It's Coach D.
All right. Listen, team, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Hey, just to let you guys know, we're going to be going to like a bi-weekly streaming, just for other things, sports events, stuff coming up. But we're still here, so don't get it twisted. That's wonderful. All right, Carl Winslow. All right. Hey, you remember the dinosaur of the?
Yeah.
I'm the Baba.
E Honda.
Hey, fuck that! I'm getting off.
Hey, man, that's his live, man.
Yeah, we're live. Hey, listen, thank you guys for watching. We had a lot of great feedback, a lot of likes, all that stuff, man. Continue it up. Again, we're going to a bi-weekly setup, but we'll still be engaging our audience on social media as well as, so just hit us up, man. Until next time.